Hey art students, in this video I'm going to show you guys how to create your cardboard loom and then warp it so that you can create your weaving projects during e-learning days. So make sure you have all the necessary supplies. You're going to want a pencil or a pen. I'm going to use a pen because I think it'll be easier to see the lines when we mark on our cardboard. You need your piece of cardboard. You need a small 6-inch ruler, you're going to need a pair of scissors, and then you're also going to need your yarn. First thing that I want you to do is take your ruler, turn your piece of cardboard so that it is wider, line up the 0 with your end, and then up at the top, make a mark right at 1/2 inch. Move your ruler down to the bottom, line the 0 up with the edge of the cardboard, and make another mark at 1/2 inch. Then go ahead and turn your piece of cardboard, line your ruler up with both marks that you made, and draw a line all the way across. Repeat these steps for the other end of your project. So line your ruler up with the edge of the cardboard, put a mark at the 1/2 inch, line your ruler up, put a mark. So now, once I've got this line drawn, you should have a horizontal line drawn that's approximately 1/2 inch from the top and bottom of your piece of cardboard. Okay, next, line your ruler up. Your cardboard should be about 6 inches wide, so go ahead and line the 0 and the 6 with the left and right edges of your cardboard. Make a mark a 1/2 inch from each side. And then in between your marks, put a mark at every 1/4 inch. Okay, so these are going to be marked about 1/4 inch wide. If you want, you can either freehand this or you can take your ruler and line it up. But then you're going to cut on these, so you want that to go all the way to the top. So if you find this easier, you may want to, when you get to your other side, just put your marks right at the top of that edge of cardboard. So flip it, do the exact same steps. So line your ruler up with the 0 and the 6 and the left and right edge of your cardboard. Put a mark that is 1/2 inch away. And then mark every 1/4 inch in between the 1/2 inch lines. And then I'm going to fill that in down to my line. Okay, once you've gotten to this step and your piece of cardboard has little marks that are about 1/4 inch apart, you are going to use your scissors and you are going to cut on those right up to the line. So this is going to create in your piece of cardboard the grooves that we're going to put our yarn in when we do our warp. So you guys are probably wondering, what does the word warp mean? Okay, so you are going to be creating a weaving project on this piece of cardboard, and the cardboard is going to serve as your loom. All right, so the loom is just the object that you weave on, And then at the end, you will cut the woven design, or the actual yarn part of that. You will cut that off of the cardboard. So the cardboard itself is not going to be a part of the final project. So it doesn't matter if you write on this piece of cardboard, mark it up. It doesn't matter how nice the cardboard looks. We just want a piece of cardboard that's going to hold up enough for us to weave on. So on this loom, we want to create some vertical strings. So as soon as I'm done cutting all of these marks, those vertical strings that we add in, those are going to be the strings that you weave on and through. And we call that the warp. Okay. Another term related to weaving, it's good to know, is the weft. The weft then will be the horizontal strings that you'll kind of weave back and forth through all the way across, and the weft is what creates the actual design. So once I've got this cut at the top and at the bottom, designate a side that you want to be the back. You're also going to need some tape. If you don't have tape, that's okay. It's not like required. You can do it without the tape. I just think that the tape makes it a lot easier. I'm going to lay my yarn so it goes about halfway down or so. I'm going to tape it on the back, and then I'm going to take my yarn. Let's move this up so you can see better. And I'm just going to gently pull that through all the way around. And then I'm going to go all the way to the back and pull it through. You don't want to pull this super, super tight, okay, because if you pull it too tight, it might kind of fold your cardboard up. So you're just going to take this all the way around, and you're going to fit it through those little notches that you cut, and that will hold the yarn in place a little bit more snugly and securely, and that will prevent the yarn from moving around like left and right as you start weaving. So take your yarn. You should have a little bit of yarn cut in your supplies that I gave you. That should be about enough to complete all of this. Now, it really doesn't matter what kind of yarn or what color of yarn that we use to create these warp strings, because if we do our weaving correctly, we shouldn't actually see these warp strings in the final design. So if you create, like the woven part, the weft, if you do that nice and snug and tight together, you won't see this. So I'm using a white string mainly because this is what I have the most of in our box of yarn and supplies, but you could actually use any color string that you want for this. So once I've reached the end, like I said, your yarn should fit, and this should work out so that it's on the back, and that should go about halfway down. Then take your piece of tape and go ahead and tape that in place on the back as well. The tape just keeps these little strings from kind of flopping around and getting in the way, and also keeps it from coming out. Okay, so that's it. This is all that you need to complete. You need to measure and create the spaces at the top and the bottom. You need to cut little notches in the top and bottom of your piece of cardboard. You need to tape your yarn from the back and then begin winding it through so that your project looks like this when you are finished. If you have questions, make sure you email me. Otherwise, good luck, and I look forward to seeing your warped pieces of cardboard when you are finished.